Hey, Facebook. Okay, Instagram finally got Facebook up and running. And guys, what I'm just talking about today is LaBoo Publishing. So, what's happening with LaBoo Publishing Enterprise? So, I have a lot of new followers on Instagram. I have a lot of new followers on Facebook. And now we are into 2022. And so, I kind of just want to share about LaBoo Publishing Enterprise, about who I am to those of you who are new to us and new to me here on Instagram, new to me on Facebook, and then saying hey to all my fan faves that have been rolling with me for a long time. But I just want to talk a little bit about the company and about where we're headed in 2022. Many of you may have know because you've seen some of my posts coming up to the end of the year that 2021 was amazing for LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. We assisted 97 authors with becoming published in 2021. And I believe we were right around the 100 mark in 2020 as well. So I am just so super pleased with how everything has gone and what we're experiencing and the amazing people that we have had the opportunity to work with at LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. It's my baby. It's my heart. And I love what has been happening and how you guys have been trusting us to help you to birth your story. And so I want to share a little of the backstory of my writing journey and how LaBoo Publishing Enterprise even came to be. So I started my writing journey in back in 2006 when I published my first book, my very first book. It was titled The Passion in My Soul, right? And I wrote that book after my second divorce. And you can read all of my backstory. I have no secrets. All of my stuff is in all of my books. There are 15 of them out there. So start reading and you can find out all the goodies. I have no secrets. But anyway, in 2006, after my second marriage failed, I was bitter. I was angry. I was filled with unforgiveness and just things were not going well for me. I was on my knees praying all the time. And the answer I kept getting back was that I needed to forgive. Now, all of this is going to tie into LaBoo Publishing. So just hang in there with me, guys. So, um, the answer kept being forgiveness. And I was just so resistant to that because I was stuck in bitterness and in anger. And so one of the things that freed me was God said to me, if you can't speak it, write it. And that is where my writing journey began. And that was with the passion in my soul. And in that book, writing that book was a whole healing process that I went through. And it really set me free and it really delivered me. Um, Growing up as a young girl, I did not live with my dad. I had barely had a relationship with my dad. Um, and so I consequently hated my last name, which at the time was LaBoo. And I didn't like my name at all. I got teased all the time. Like kids in school are cruel. They used to yell boo at me all the time and, call me all sorts of things. I just did not like the name because, people, one, didn't know how to pronounce it. I was teased about the name. And I had no real connection to the name because I had no real solid connection with my dad, right? And so I didn't like the name. So when I started dating and was looking at getting married, I was so excited because I was going to be able to change my last name. And so I jokingly told my husband at the time, I said, well, my fiance at the time, I said, if anything ever goes wrong and we end up getting divorced, you can have everything back except for your last name. So I kept his name for years, even after we divorced, and two, because it was my kid's last name as well. But never let go of the name because I did not want the name LaBoo back. So that marriage failed, kept the name, got remarried a couple more times. Like I said, it's all in the book. Um, but got married again, kept the name. And so even got when I got married, it's all my business the third time, my name was hyphenated and it was I had two surnames. Like, so how crazy is that? So when all of that came crashing down, um, I that was in 2016, I believe, is when, and I'm skipping ahead, is when I had the opportunity to move to Hawaii. It was after my third marriage failed. And so for me, that was a whole healing journey. And it was at that time that I entered in my first or produced my first anthology project, and it was about divorce. It was called A Threefold Cord Broken: What Happens When Christian Marriages Fail, right? So, me and I think seven other women came together. We produced that project. I was living in Hawaii. I was on my healing journey. I came back to Maryland. We had a big book launch. And at that point is when I was like, wow, this was really awesome. And I realized um, how much I enjoyed that whole process. Now, I had been writing all over the years. So from 2006 on up to that point, probably had about 8 books or 9 books at that time. So I had been writing. I had been helping people to write. I had been coaching writers. I was holding writers boot camps and workshops and helping people to tell their stories just as I had done. And so years and years of helping people with the writing process, right? So when I came back, I had this whole, I think it was while I was in that writing process. My timeline might be a little off, but I had this yearning to, um, wait, let me back up. Let me back up. Okay. Remember the whole thing I said about my dad, right? So I wrote my first book. And when I wrote that first book, I had some things in there about my relationship with my father, right? That some were not so flattering. But one of my aunts, who I also wasn't that close with, she got a hold of the book, saw what I had written about my dad, and she went to my dad and asked my dad if he had any idea that that was how I was feeling about not having a relationship with him. All of that sparked a healing between my dad and I, brought us closer together, and we had this amazing relationship up until the time he passed away, which was, I don't know, maybe 4, 5 years later, not sure. But rekindle, our relationship, and and I came to really love my dad. I began meeting my other family members, becoming closer to all of my aunts, and learning about the LaBoos, what my name stood for, the history behind my name, the legacy behind my name, which
Mhm.
I no longer had anymore because all those years, remember how excited I was to get rid of it. And I can remember one of my younger sisters saying to me when I got married the first time, she said, I cannot believe you gave up your last name. Like, our name has such a rich legacy. And my answer to her was, it doesn't mean the same thing that to me that it means to you, because I didn't grow up with my dad and I have no real attachment to it. Right. So fast forward back to Hawaii when I'm on my healing journey. And God spoke to me and he said I needed to get rid of all of the stuff that was attached to me that no longer belonged to me. And that was huge because at that time, I still had those two surnames from those two marriages that I was no longer in. And so it was not even my identity anymore. And yet I was walking around with it. And so I just felt this strong urge to take my family name back. Thus, I am now who I started out to be, Kimberly K. LaBoo. I love my name. I love my family legacy. I love the fact that I have been able to carry out my legacy through the family business name. And I am just so excited about that. So when I came back from Maryland, when we did that book launch, came back to Hawaii, and God gave me the revelation, about the fact that I had helped all these people to become authors, yet my name was nowhere associated with them. I was like the ghost publisher, right? I was getting them all the way up to that point and then releasing them to somewhere else. God said, enough is enough with that, right? And so, enough is enough with that. It's time for you to step out. And so that's where he gave me LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. And I'm like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do with that? Because that was not the journey that I was ever on, was not ever working toward. But when he gave it to me, it made so much sense because I had the relationships formed, I had the community that I was working with. Um, Already knew editors and people who did cover design, and I just had all of the connections already. And um and so I was excited, right? And so anybody who knows me knows that when God gives me an idea, I run with it, right? And see what he has that's going to be along the way. And so I did. I launched LaBoo Publishing Enterprise in 2018. Our anniversary is coming up on February the 18th. It'll be 4 years. We have never been without clients. You guys have supported me. You guys have referred me. Word of mouth has been our strong suit. But we've never advertised, nothing like that. And so, I attribute that to the goodness of God, really. He told me to do something. I stepped out on it. I was obedient. And the fruits just keep pouring in. And so that's how LaBoo Publishing Enterprise started. Um, what are we about? Like, who are we for? So, I think that we are literally just the publisher that cares. Like, we care about people, we care about our clients. We really love working with first time authors, the authors that think there is no way that I could ever write a book. We love bringing those stories to light and helping people to share their stories. Um, we are a little different and unique in that we do a little more hand holding than most publishing houses are willing or able to do. That's one of our specialties, like I said, helping people who think they can't know that they can by producing their published work. And so that is what really excites me. So, first time authors, people who have a story to tell, mainly their personal stories. We love the memoirs and people who write books that are tied to their businesses that have a mission and a purpose. Um, that's certainly what we're really about. Um, we produce those types of books. We are mainly nonfiction, men and women. We help men and women write nonfiction books, which is primarily our genre is that whole memoir space and business, books that tie in with your business, like I just said. um, our core values, let's talk about our core values at LaBoo Publishing are integrity, excellence, care, patience, and professionalism. Those are our 5 core values: integrity, excellence, care, patience, and professionalism. That's what we are about at LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. And to my Facebook fam, if you keep seeing me look up here, it's because my Instagram peeps are up here and my Facebook peeps are down here. So thank you to all of you who are watching right now, just as I share, about our company. Um, so then what gets me excited about this brand, about my brand, about our company brand, is helping people to write the stories that they think that they would never be able to write, is helping people feel like they can make a difference through their writing. I talk to people all the time and they share their stories with me and they're like, but nobody wants to hear that. Like, they don't see the impact and the weight of what they've been through, what they've been able to conquer, and how it would translate into helping someone else. And we specialize in helping people to see that, bridge that gap in that connection, right? I love getting to hear the hearts of people and their stories, showing writers how their stories can have an impact, and watching writers transform through the process, right? Because it is a process with the type of people that we work with and the types of stories that they are telling, these transformations begin to take place because writing sometimes is hard, and some of our clients are writing through the hard stuff and they need support through that journey, and we love helping them to get through that, right? So that's a little bit about the brand, about the backstory, guys. And I am going to share with you guys what's next and what's coming up because there's some exciting stuff on the horizon for LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. Um, and I just want to help people to tell their stories, to set themselves free, to set other people free, to heal through writing. You guys have heard me say, I don't know how many times, that there is healing through writing. People need compassion. They need a compassionate person, a compassionate staff to help them through their writing process. And that is what we are here for. Everybody who is a part of the LaBoo Publishing staff has a heart for people. If they do not, they cannot work with us. And so, I always get compliments on my staff and how supportive they are and how helpful they were and how nice they were and how kind they were. And that is on purpose. On purpose. They have a heart like I do to see people succeed in this writing journey. And so everything that's connected to us cares about our clients. And we create a safe space for people to share their stories. And so that is, in a nutshell, who LaBoo Publishing is, what we're about, who we work with. Um, and so now where are we going? Because that's the title of this. Can't even remember what I titled this. What's happening with LaBoo Publishing or something like that. But where are we headed? We have so much stuff on the horizon. We have partnerships that are forming, that are being worked out right now. So that's exciting. We're going to be offering more workshops, both virtual and in person. Um, we have the Ready to Write boot camp that I taught for years that led to LaBoo Publishing coming to fruition. The Ready to Write boot camp, I think we're going to run one of those here in 2022. Right now, the registration is open for our Serenity Women's Writing Retreat that's happening April 8th through 11th in Cambridge, Maryland. And so I think we only have about seven spaces left for that. So information about that, of course, is on www.laboopublishing.com under events. If you want to join us for that, we have some of the most phenomenal experts in the writing genre that are coming to teach workshops there. And so it's just going to be a great time. I'm excited about the poetry and PJ's party that we're going to be having at the retreat. So lots of good stuff. We also will be teaching our masterclass maybe one or two times this year, for visionary authors that want to spearhead their own anthology projects. So I'll be teaching that workshop, the masterclass again, called How to Manage a Successful and Profitable Anthology Project. Because, guys, I've been hearing some horror stories. So we got to get it right out here in these anthology streets. And so we will be offering that workshop coming up again. Stay tuned for all those details. And so I want you to connect with us, stay connected with us. So if you're not following us here on Facebook, LaBoo Publishing here on Facebook, Instagram, LaBoo Publishing, the website, www.laboopublishing.com. You can head over there and you can join our mailing list, our email list, so that you can stay connected and get the updates on everything that's going on with LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. We're growing, we're expanding, and it's just been incredible. I am so happy that I took that leap of faith when God said to create this business, almost 4 years ago. and we have been nonstop. And I'm just so grateful for all of the amazing authors that we have had the opportunity to work with, to support, and to help birth their vision for being a published author. And not only a published author, many of our authors are best selling authors. So, I'm so, so, so excited about everything that's to come. So I just wanted to come on and just kind of share with you the backstory of LaBoo Publishing. My mastermind sisters called me out and were like, stop hiding behind your brand. The people want to see you. So here I am. Here I am. I'm normally behind the scenes working, making sure that everything is going well for our authors in their stories and their projects. And pushing them to the front into into the limelight. And so I just have a heart for this. Everything about this means everything to me, and I often tell people I care about what we put out because my actual name is attached to this business. My father's name. We have so many entrepreneurs in the LaBoo family. Like when I tell you that the business side of things in me came from my father's name, the LaBoo side of the family, the compassion and the caring that you receive came from my mama, right? And so I care so much about this business and this brand. I will not mess it up. Um, is everything always perfect? No. However, it is very important to me that we operate in integrity with excellence because that is what my father's name and my family name and our family legacy is all about. And so that is LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. So I am just so delighted. I see a lot of comments over here, but I have my Instagram family up here and I have my Facebook family down here, and I can't even begin to look at the comments because I would lose track. I do see somebody that said I can't wait for the retreat. Um, so I can't wait for the retreat either. It's going to be fantastic. So if you're a female and you would like to join us for the Serenity Women's Writing Retreat, please head over to laboopublishing.com under events and you will see it right there. Or there is a page up on Facebook as well, Serenity Writers Retreat. You can ask to join that or find the event and click going. Come hang out with us. It's going to be amazing. The location is amazing. It's off the water. Um, and we're just going to have a fantastic time. And so I'm looking for that. I'm looking forward to that as well. And so, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. This wasn't supposed to be that long. I'm not doing too bad, only 23 minutes. So I just wanted to share about the business, what it stands for, who we are, where we're going. And I hope to connect with many of you. Take that step. Give us a call. Connect with us in any of the ways I've already mentioned. Get a book consult. If you have an idea, we can help you talk through that idea, help you to bring the vision to life of becoming a published author or an author again. If you've already written, they say the best way to sell book one is to write book two, three, four, five. I think I'm on 16, maybe, yeah, 16 right now. And so I got caught with that writing bug in 2006 and it never let go of me. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I look forward to chatting it up with you guys, to meeting any new authors that are on my timeline, aspiring authors. I really look forward to talking with you all. Looking forward to connecting with you, me and my staff. Um, we love you guys to pieces. Thank you for following. Thank you for supporting. Oh, you know that reels where they say, you want to know how you can support my small business? Tell your friends to pull up. Good night, y'all.